Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited for this one, as always, but I have the lovely Frankie Bridge with me today. We all know Frankie from the Saturdays and S Club Juniors, and today we are going to go all in on motherhood, mental health, and also her new company, which is Faves, The Edit. So I'm really looking forward to discussing all of the things today. So welcome, Frankie.
Thank you.
Was that okay?
That was fine.
I was.
There's a lot of things.
I know, and we'll just constantly blame baby brain for the next few.
We'll blame baby brain.
Baby. But thank you so much for doing this, especially amidst the tube strikes. You made it.
I did. I made it. I got my steps in. It's fine.
Exactly. Okay, so take us back. We all know the Saturdays, unless you were living under a rock. I mean, still to this day, the best songs ever.
Thank you.
But you went from S Club Juniors to the Saturdays. How old were you in S Club Juniors?
12.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know what's so funny is when I was watching you on S Club Juniors, I felt like, not in a rude way, I felt you were so old. Do you know what I mean? Not you. But do you know what I mean?
Is taking a turn.
This is just really rude.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
No, as in I felt all of you were just so, because you were so like such a thing, it was like not relatable to my age.
Well, I suppose we seemed older because we were working.
Yeah.
Like, I've essentially been
were not
working
in school.
Yeah, I've been working for 24 years now, which is wild. And I'm
That's
36.
crazy.
Like, had a full-time job.
That's insane. How old are your kids now?
11 and no, sorry, that's a lie. 10 and just about to turn 12.
So can you imagine your 12-year-old
Absolutely
now?
not. He forgot his trainers for school today. Like, he forgets to put his seatbelt on every time he gets in the car, and I tell him every day. Like, honestly, could not imagine him having to go out and do a day's work.
It's crazy, isn't it? But I do think that the world was very different back then, whereas now there's just so much. So do you feel like because it was so much simpler in terms of like social media and everything, it was a different time for someone to be 12 years old in the public eye?
100%. I say all the time that we were so fortunate that we had no social media.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea if someone didn't like my hair or thought our songs were rubbish, or, you know, I had no idea.
I was just thought the songs were great.
Thanks. We just were loving what we were doing. You know, we were living our childhood dream, and I didn't have to deal with anyone's thoughts or feelings on that or opinions.
Yeah.
And really, up until even really halfway through the Saturdays, social media just wasn't really a big thing. Like, I did Strictly in 2014, and I look back at my posts then, and they were like so far and few between. Like, it just still wasn't even as big as it is now.
That's crazy.
So I think we were so lucky with that.
Yeah, whereas now, I guess if you were on Strictly now, they'd probably have a whole social media plan for you.
Oh, it would be a whole other job on
Yeah.
top of everything else.
Do you think, because you've been so open about your mental health, which I think is amazing, because you really kind of just normalize it, and I think so, as we were just saying about pregnancy, the second you almost just say it, the person you're saying it to, and you say it so publicly, the person you're saying it to feels that they have permission to just feel their feelings as well. So do you feel that the transition from being a child, going straight into the public eye, then going straight into the Saturdays, do you think that was the biggest factor of your mental health, or do you think it came before it already existed for you?
No, I definitely think it was already a thing for me. Like,
Yeah.
I was such an overthinker, a real deep thinker as a kid.
Yeah.
I always say, like, I came out of the womb anxious. Like, it just is my natural disposition.
Yeah.
I think I feel really deeply, and I'm really aware of other people's feelings.
Yeah.
Not in a way necessarily to say, oh, I'm like Mother Mary and I'm so lovely to everyone, but I just...
You always take on
I
feelings.
really do take on people's energies, I think, and I really pick up on them. And I think from a young age, I took it upon myself I felt like I had to make other people happy.
Right.
And to keep everyone appeased. And I think probably going into a pop group setup probably only made that worse.
Yeah, because you're there purely for entertainment.
Yeah, you're there for entertainment. You're there to make people happy. You're earning
Yeah.
people money. So you've got to be on it all the time.
So you almost feel responsible for other people's happiness.
100%.
As a 12-year-old, that's quite a lot to take on.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of pressure. But I think it would have manifested in that way at some point in my life anyway.
Right.
But I think it was just exasperated by the job that I chose to do. And it's hard to say that because I loved it.
Yeah.
And it's a really conflicting thing, I think, for people on the outside, you know, to say that you're really self-conscious or you're an anxious person, but then to choose to be in the public eye is quite a weird choice, I think.
Yeah.
It sounds strange. But I think if you talk to a lot of people in our industry, we're kind of all set up in the same way. And I suppose maybe
That's
it's a part of
interesting.
looking at that for that outside validation all the time, which is why I feel that a lot of us fall into what we do. That and also
Yes.
the love for, I loved performing.
And also, did you almost feel like it was your one play? It was like weirdly your safe space because you could get onto the stage and almost be this version of yourself that you couldn't be in day to day.
Oh, 100%. It's so funny. Like if you put me in a room of people that I don't know, like my social anxiety is like so intense. Like I get so
Really?
nervous about events and things like that. But yeah, I could perform on a stage at like Wembley Arena, the O2,
That's
and
crazy.
obviously be nervous, but love it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. So I understand why other people find it hard to understand, but I think it's quite common.
And do you still have that feeling now? Because obviously you go to so many different events and different things. Do you still have that feeling inside when you're like on your way or when you're there and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
really?
But it's, yeah, if I could find a way to get out of things, I don't, obviously, but I'm always in the back of my mind, like if someone was, you know, that all those memes where someone's like, oh no, someone's cancelled, and
you're
they're
like,
like
yes,
buzzing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's me. But once I'm there, I'm fine. It's
Yeah.
always the idea of things. And I think where I've been an anxious person for so much of my life, I know that once I'm there, I'll be fine because I
Yeah.
have so much proof of that. So I
Yes.
have to just rely on that knowing.
Yeah, it's almost like creating. I was reading this thing recently of having like an evidence journal. So it's like creating that backlog of evidence of moments where you've been absolutely fine. So it's like you tell yourself, well, I know I can do this and I know it will be fine.
Yeah.
But that's so interesting. And what do you feel are the things that, like the tools you lean on in those moments where you're like, oh God, I can't do this. I've got an event tonight. What would be your go-to?
I think, like you said, like the backlog of evidence, I do rely heavily on that.
Yeah.
In that I know I will be fine once I'm there.
Yeah.
I think I often, it's a little bit of that like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
It's like I have to walk in and act confident. I think a lot of people would just assume that I'm comfortable in those spaces, and that's probably because I just walk in and I'll say hi to everyone.
Yes.
You know, whereas actually internally I'm like,
Yeah.
but then I am fine within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's almost like the same as like nerves going on stage.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be feeling literally like you're going to be sick, and then you go out there and within 2 seconds that's
You're in
gone and you're just enjoying it.
It's almost like my niece has just gone back to school now, I think. Nursery, school. Anyway, she's gone back into the classroom, let's say. And she's super confident and so kind of outgoing and stuff. But her first day back after the summer holidays, she just had such a wobble in the beginning bit. And then she was fine. It's almost like our inner child, isn't it? Like that first initial hurdle to kind of like settle you in.
Yeah, that's true. And I've actually done a lot of work on like the inner child and the teenage self and all of that. And when someone had kind of spoken to me about that before, it all sounded a bit woo-woo and a bit silly. But actually it makes so much sense because we tell ourselves so many stories about ourselves from such a young age.
Yeah.
You know, and one of mine is that I have to keep everyone happy and it's my job to make people happy. And that has like cropped up so many times throughout my life. And now that I've acknowledged it, I've realised that that doesn't make sense and it's impossible to be able to do that. And it's not my job to do that. But I think until you can acknowledge those things properly, you can't deal with it, really.
Also, do you know what's so funny is I have the kind of like a similar-ish thing, but sorry, I constantly have to move around.
That's
at the
all right.
moment. Yeah, I have that similar thing where I will tell myself certain things, but then one thing I do tell myself is people don't care about you as much as you think that they could. Do you know what I mean? Like, what we put so much importance on, people would just completely like brush past that. But we're so, in a weird way, obsessed with ourselves.
Oh, 100%. I think we think so many things that other people just haven't got the time. Like, I think sometimes you have to look inwards and acknowledge how you see the world and see other people, and realize how you just, it's not that deep. You don't think about people that deeply in the way that we think people do.
No, I know. And then we're just lying there and like, oh my god, what about this thing that I did? Like, what the hell are they gonna think?
Yeah, I could think about something I said for like months.
I know,
it's
so weird,
so stupid, and that person's probably not even remembered that they met me.
Yeah, that is so true. It's such a privilege to be able to have therapy and to be able to like work on things and see different people and kind of go into that, and also like not only financially but time wise. Are there any like key takeaways from therapy that you almost could like share with the listeners that they could almost do at home?
I think something that was really big for me very recently, so I've done therapy for about 15-16 years now. Wow. So I've kind of done I've worked on my past. I've figured out what it is from my past that, has affected me and given me these stories that I tell myself. So I think that's something to look at. But now I've just started working with a life coach, because I'm like, I just want to look forward now. Yeah. Which again, like you say, they're all things that, not necessarily everyone can do. But something that I did with him that I thought was really helpful, like literally last week, was we sat with a whiteboard. It doesn't have to be a whiteboard, but I literally, from the date that I was born to like today, I did a timeline of my life and the big things that have happened in my life, good and bad. Okay. So I had to write them all down and what age I was when they happened. And there's something about sitting there and looking at these things in your life that kind of makes sense to how you are now. And it gives you an idea of your starting point of one, things that have affected you negatively, why and how, and what you can do to change those. And then it reminds you to look at the good things as well, and not just to remember the bad. So, S Cup Juniors was an amazing thing, but then there are some negatives that came out of that. But now I can see them for actually what they are, and the two things together rather than just the bad. So I think that's a good place to start, is to kind of look at it all properly. Because also the negative things, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Maybe I should be a bit kinder to myself. That thing that someone said to me when I was 12, of course I've been thinking I'm a bad person since then, because then this reiterated it years later. Yes. But when you see it written down, it becomes smaller.
Yeah, and also you're like zooming out on the whole big picture rather than that one isolated moment. And as you say, it's really interesting to see the good and the bad together, because then you see all the good. Yeah. And you're like, oh, whereas why do we just focus on the bad?
We always focus on the negative. It's like, the only way I can describe it is if someone comments on your stuff on social media, there'll be like 800 nice messages and one horrible one, and that's always the one you remember.
I know. It's such a shame that we're like wired like this. So I want you to kind of go into then how you wrote 2 books, one on motherhood. So you have 2 boys. Yeah. And you wrote one on mental health. And the motherhood was also connected to mental health. Yeah. So which one?
I wrote Open first, which is all about mental health. And I was really strict on what that looked like. Yeah. I didn't want it to be a memoir. So I was like, I refused to be on the front cover. So it was actually really hard to find a publisher that was happy with the way that I wanted to do it. And second of all, I didn't want a ghostwriter, because I felt like it was a personal story for me, and if anyone else wrote it, it just wasn't going to be...
It wasn't genuine.
Yeah. So I wrote about my memories and thoughts and feelings of my mental health throughout my life, but I also had my psychiatrist and my therapist write in the book as well. So we had to go through all of my doctor's notes over the years. Oh my gosh. Which was like pretty tough, but also really interesting.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted them involved is because, one, obviously they're the two people that know my mental health journey the most, but also I wanted them to be able to pick things out of what I say and explain to the reader, like, kind of medically why I am feeling how I am, and then also how to deal with that. Because I felt, for me, the best way to deal with my mental health is to have those medical reasons, because it made me feel less like I was out of control.
And also less like an outsider. Like, it made more sense.
It made sense. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, it's the same. Like, my psychiatrist always used to say, like, someone trying to understand mental health who doesn't have mental health issues is similar to someone trying to understand what it feels like to drown by standing in the shower.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, like, and that's why I kind of give people a lot of grace when they don't understand, because I think, well, of course you don't, because you have never thought the way that I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to keep trying to explain it to people, and have those conversations. So that's why the first book was really important to me.
And how old were your kids at that point?
Oh God, I can't remember when it came out.
Because what I was just asking that for, like, are you very open with your kids about this as well? Because I guess like now what's so interesting is we're saying, you know, did you say 10 and 12?
Yeah.
10 and 12, when I was 10 and 12 feels like 4 and 5 now, you know, like, whereas now 10 and 12-year-old are so exposed to so many different things, so much kind of more advanced than we were at that time. So I guess you're having to have bigger conversations at an earlier stage.
Yeah, it's funny because they're so different. So everything's personal to each child. So, like, weirdly, my youngest child is really in tune with energy and people's feelings, and he's really aware of it. Sometimes to his detriment, because it's difficult for us, because we actually can't keep anything from him. He picks up on everything. So we have to be really careful about what we say around him, but it's easier to have those conversations with him because he understands it.
Okay.
So if I talk to him about mental health, he gets it. Like, he actually said to one of my friends once, she came round and he was like, do you ever give in to your what's the word? Intrusive thoughts.
Oh my God.
And she was like,
just come over for a cup of tea.
And she was like, yeah, sometimes. And he was like, yeah, me too. And, like, had this whole conversation with her.
Then you're like, excuse me, what are your intrusive
I know, what are you thinking about? Or he'll be like, oh, is that because of your anxiety? And you know, he just gets it. So I can have those conversations. Although I made the mistake of once I was having I was in the depths of depression, and he found me crying. And in that moment I didn't have the capacity to explain it to him. So I just told him I had a migraine. So then for my birthday, he got Wayne, my husband, to buy me migraine tablets, so that next time I have a migraine, I've got them to take.
That's so sweet.
So sweet. But also now I'm like, I'm going to have to explain that one day, because if he ever has a partner, every time they cry, it's going to be like, have you got a migraine?
My mum had this all the time.
All the time. So with him, it's easier, whereas with my eldest, we don't really have those conversations.
Right.
I don't feel like he has such the capacity to understand it.
Right.
So I haven't
not quite ready.
I haven't had as many open and honest conversations with him about it. So it's weird. You kind of pick and choose what works for each child.
Meeting each child where they're at.
I for a while with them, I got them these little journals, and it would just ask them like 3 questions at the end of the day, and you know, it'd be something like, what made you feel good, what do you think you did to make someone else feel good, or like what thing made you feel bad today. And I found it really interesting because they really enjoyed it. And so from the other end is, whereas my eldest, I don't feel he's ready to have those conversations about my mental health. I feel like by teaching them to be aware of their own emotions, they'll find it easier to be able to name and talk about their mental health as they get older.
So your eldest, interestingly, wouldn't necessarily be the one to like openly chat with you about it, but he was still writing.
Yeah, he was writing in it. I mean, granted, a lot of the time he would just write the same thing, but And, you know, at first it was very like, I scored a goal today or whatever.
What made you feel bad?
Yeah.
The lunch my mum made.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It was like real basic stuff. But the more he got into it,
That's such a good tip there.
yeah, the more he would write. Or like if they weren't into the writing, when they were younger, I just used to lay in bed with them when I was putting them to bed and say, oh, tell me something that wasn't great about your day today, and then something good about your day. And I just feel like it just makes them think more about, you know, what they like, what they don't like, and how things make them feel.
Be a bit more in tune. That's a really good tip with the journaling, I think, for children. What do you remember what journal it was you brought them?
No, it's yellow.
Okay, we'll find. We'll link a children's journal.
Yeah, it was.
But that's such
really
a nice thing, because also sometimes writing is much easier for kids than.
Yeah,
speaking,
if they're at writing age,
Yeah.
it's so much easier. But yeah, I think even before that, just the basic like of not asking them the usual, did you have a good day at school today? What did you eat for lunch? I think sometimes also bedtime, they're just trying to get out of going to sleep.
So they'll talk
So
to
they'll
you.
talk, yeah. You can get
that's
everything out of them at bedtime.
Yeah, that's so true.
Little
actually.
tip for you there.
Yeah, I love that. I need all these tips.
Yeah.
This is so good. Okay, and then you went on to write your Motherhood book. So we were just talking beforehand about pregnancy, and we were just kind of sharing how it's not all rainbows and unicorns. How was your pregnancy?
I didn't enjoy pregnancy at all.
Yeah.
And I always say it was like a means to an end. Like I wanted a baby, so obviously, I was able to get pregnant. I was lucky to be able to get pregnant, and I could acknowledge all that and still not enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think they're important conversations to have, because I would find that I would meet women and they'd be gushing and be like, oh my God, was it amazing? Da, 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 I love this. And I'd be like, no, I'm not really enjoying it. And then it was almost like I'd given them permission to go, oh my God, I hated this bit and I felt rubbish about this. And da, da, da. And it's like, we need to give each other space to have those conversations.
Yeah, for sure.
Because also you can enjoy parts of it and not enjoy other parts.
And also you're still a human that has just basically been pumped with all these different hormones where you're so up and down. Yep. And if you're almost, it's funny because if you weren't pregnant and you were dealing with something like on a kind of mental health hormone level, you know, your friends and family would be really like rallying around and saying like, you know, what's going on. But it's almost like, oh, well, you just have to deal with that because you're pregnant. And I think it is so incredible, and it's such a blessing. And anyone that can get pregnant is so lucky to be pregnant. But I also think it's also just okay to say that you're having a really hard day or you're finding it hard because you've been like wiped by the hormone changes and shifts and stuff, and just like it's this funny narrative that we create, like, oh, just enjoy every second. Like, okay, but would you tell me that in any other normal circumstance? Like, no. How does someone, like, if you actually just break that down, enjoy every second? Well, that's impossible. Do you know what I mean?
I don't enjoy every second of any day, a normal day.
Even like what I love the most, I don't enjoy every second of, because you have those, you know, those down moments. But I think it's so good that you talk so openly, because I just think it almost like really restricts us and confines us, and it's really isolating to not just be open about it.
I think every pregnancy is so different as well. Like, with my first pregnancy, I was 24. I was still in the Saturdays.
Yeah.
So I was performing on stage.
Wow.
And the public were used to seeing me look a certain way from the age of 12. Like, it was even hard for people to not still think I was 12 years old for a really long time.
That was an adjustment in itself.
So then I was pregnant. You know, so that for me was, I didn't feel comfortable in my own body. And then I was having to get up on stage and dance next to girls who still looked the same.
Yeah. Were you the first
No,
one?
I think I was third.
Okay, so they'd already had their babies.
And I was someone who had suffered with disordered eating for a lot of my life. So I was dealing with a lot of, like, you know, having no control over my body. All of a sudden I was unable to control how I looked. And that was a really big thing for me. And then, you know, like dancing with a pregnant belly and stuff, like everything was just different.
Yeah.
And then I had like more normal
God, how
morning
did
sickness.
you do that?
We did like a 17-hour music video.
What?
And no one knew I was pregnant. And I just drank 7-Up all day and had to keep running out to like retch outside and then come back in and like try and look hot for a video and wear heels all day. It was a lot. And we did like a radio tour in America. So like I remember just like being up in the middle of the night retching on my own. Like it was vile. And then with my second, I had hyperemesis, which is where you can't stop being sick. So I had to announce my pregnancy really early on because I was supposed to be doing the Strictly tour. And I had to pull out of it because my doctor was like, there's just no way. Like the more tired you get, the more sick you'll get. So I had to announce it. And the only reason people knew what it was because Kate Middleton had it.
Oh, okay.
So people were like, oh, okay. Like, oh, so you're sick then. But I'll never forget 2 men. There was one guy we were doing an interview with, and he said to me, well, you're not sick, are you? It's not like you're ill or anything. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, you know what? If you felt hungover or had a stomach bug or like motion sick for 24 hours of the day for 9 months, you know it's not going away, then tell me that I'm not actually ill. Because I'm like, you have that and you're expected to carry on like normal. Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
But you wouldn't expect that of anyone else if they were like sick in any other way.
Yeah.
So I found that really difficult. And then I remember talking about birth, and a guy that we worked with was like, oh, so you're going to have a C-section? And I was like, yeah, because my husband at the time was still playing football. Obviously I was working. I'd said to my doctor, like, if I was your daughter, what would you tell me to have? And he was like, with the size of the baby, blah, 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 I think you should have a C-section. And it just meant that I knew my husband was going to be there.
Be around,
work would know, exactly when it's all happening. And just as like an anxious person, like waiting to go into labour was like
the worst.
Just no, thank you. And he was like,
but also, can I just say, you don't even need to justify why you chose a C-section.
No, I know.
But that's such a thing now.
It's such a thing.
Which I'm only realising now. Like,
I think it's because of the too posh to push. I think because of Victoria Beckham, like imagine being her, like she kind of paved the way for it and she got so much for it. And I remember this guy just being like, oh, it's just unnatural. Like I think you should just give birth naturally and blah, 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 like gave me this lecture. And I was just like, okay, when you push a baby out of your penis, you can come and have a conversation with me. Until then, keep your thoughts and feelings to yourself. And that's why I felt like I had to write the book Grow, because I just was like, it's so crazy to me that it is still such a thing that people have so many opinions on. Yeah. When really all we want is a healthy mum and a healthy baby.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
it.
Nothing else matters.
It's crazy.
Wow. Okay. So that was kind of the premise of the book, making people feel comfortable and like they could share and that everything was okay.
Yeah. And that even when you have the baby, like you might not enjoy every second, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like name me one person in your life who doesn't annoy you. You might love them, like you've just got married. I'm sure you love him, but I'm sure he annoys you at some point in a day.
Especially in pregnancy.
Yeah, exactly. He did this to you. But it's the same with children, you know. You have this baby, you don't know each other. You're trying to figure out what they want from you, what they need from you. Yeah. They're trying to figure you out. You would never expect to know someone.
To know each other.
Yeah, you would never expect to know someone inside out if you, for the first time you meet them. And this is no different. You might have birthed them, you might have grown them, but you're still getting to know each other. And at first you are still tired, you are hormonal, and they don't smile for ages. And, you know, it's all those things. Like I remember saying to my friends, like, it won't smile at you for ages. And until then, you'll feel like you're giving it everything and it's giving you nothing back. Yeah. And then I remember the first time her baby smiled, she was like, I get it now. Oh my God, it's amazing. And, you know, and there's this pressure to get back to your former self. Yeah. And, you know, like, you're not your former self. You're
it's a new
now.
Version. Yeah. Exactly. I was explaining to Casper because I had like one of my several breakdowns to him a week. And he was just joking, being like, and I do want to say he's been so supportive in his own little way. Yeah.
Well, they can't get it, can they? They're not growing it.
He can't get it. But he was like, you know, and then you're going to feel so great. Like, just think, you're having the baby in 3 months and you're going to feel so good and blah, blah, blah. Like, he's trying to cheer me up. And I'm like, okay, I'm just telling you now, that's not, like, I'm just going to have these breakdowns for a long time now. Like,
this is life now.
This is just, yeah. And, like, I was like, give me, like, probably, like, 6 months after the baby's here to readjust. Like, I think there's also this narrative, like, oh, you're not pregnant anymore. Like, and it's like, yeah, but now all these other things are going on.
Yeah, your hormones are going to kick off again.
I know.
And then, you're dealing with a newborn. And, you know, I had like a friend come around to me a while after she'd had her baby. And she was like, oh my God, yeah, everything's great. And I could just tell that she wasn't okay.
Aww, yeah.
And I just said to her, I was like, you know, you don't have to be totally fine, and like, you know, that like it's okay that you don't feel yourself because you're not.
Yeah.
And she just like burst into tears, cried the whole way home, and then she was like, and then I felt so much better.
Yeah.
But I think we've been sold this narrative that you'll snap back and, you know, you'll get back into life, and because that's what it looks like from the outside to everyone.
Yeah.
But you know, everyone's version of that is different.
And also what everyone shares on social media is, as people say, is a highlights reel. Like, I'm not the type of person who will ever video myself crying and put it on a story. And I applaud people that do that, but that's just not where my head's at in that moment. And it would probably be a good thing to do that, but you're not going to see that from me. So you might follow me and think, oh, wow, you know, she's taking pregnancy in her stride or whatever. And you might be someone that's in the midst of sickness or pregnancy and think, oh God, Bryony looks like it's easy. Trust me.
But also you don't have to. You don't have to share those moments.
Exactly.
Like, no one should feel like they have to.
It's just knowing that we're all normal at the end of the day. We all have these moments and they do exist even if you're not seeing them, basically.
Yeah, it's like, and then when they get older, you still have like, you know, we see all these, my biggest shock was like, you know, my mum was a working mum, and you see all these women going out to work and still having their kids. And I naively, I suppose I was only 24, was like, oh my God, when I'm not with my kids, I won't think about my kids. Like, I'll be off and I'll be working, I'll be doing this, or I'll go away with my friends, and it would be, you know, but they don't leave your brain. And that for me was the biggest adjustment.
Right.
Like, from the minute Parker was born, I remember crying to Wayne and being like, but I just love him so much, and if anyone makes him cry, I'm going to be really sad. And it was like, it's this such a weird feeling. And, you know, now I go to work and I feel bad that I'm not with the boys, or when I'm with the boys, I feel bad I'm not working. And it's just this like constant juggle, and that's just the truth of it. It doesn't mean don't do it, and it doesn't mean that it's not great, but it just, that's the
just
truth.
How it goes. Yeah. Okay, well, I just want to switch gears and talk about Faves, which is so exciting. And I love following you girls. I feel like, well, firstly, we were just saying, like, I think you should launch a podcast. I think you should do a YouTube. I just want to like see more of you as your kind of girl group. It's so nice. So how did Faves come about?
So I was doing Frankie's Faves for like 7 years on my own, which was basically, just after I'd had
kids. On your Instagram?
Yeah, just on Instagram. After I had kids, I was just, people would often ask me like what I was wearing and ideas of what to wear to things and stuff. And I was kind of refiguring out, you know, not being in a pop band anymore, being a mum, like what still makes me feel cool, what makes me feel hot, like what's practical, and figuring it out myself. So I just kind of started sharing like every Sunday, like a roundup of like my favourite high street finds.
Love that.
And I carried on doing that for a really long time. And then I met my business partner, Leah, who you know. And
she's amazing.
She started helping me with it. And she was just like, this could be so much more than what you're doing with it now. And it was a lot of work. Like, I know it sounds really silly, but like, you know, I'd spend hours picking the clothes. Then you sending them all back, and like It was like a full-time job in itself. And it was really nice to have someone on board to do it with.
Yeah.
And that was when we came up with like dropping the Frankies, because obviously we became a team. And we decided to set up a mailer. So we have like over 30,000 subscribers now, which is really cool. And we send out this weekly mailer. They get the links to the clothes before anyone else does on Instagram. And then the Fave 9 looks go out on a Sunday online, and
so
you can shop all of them. They have
before everything
early
sells
access.
out.
And for us, it was just a way of like, we're not saying you need to buy all these items, but we're kind of doing the hard bit for you. Like, you don't have to trow through all the shops. We can find you all the best bits that are out there, and also show you how to use them.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes, a lot of the time, people have all those things in their wardrobe anyway.
Yeah, so you can almost see how to piece
because I think we get stuck in a rut.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
like
100%.
All the time.
Yeah.
I find most of my inspiration online. If I can't think what to wear, I'll just kind of have a look at the favourite people that I follow or go on Pinterest. And then after that, it's just kind of evolved. Like, we have Izzy involved now, and she does all our wellness and beauty. She's great. She's so good. And we have Lauren. She's our stylist now, because I don't have time to do all of it on my own. And then it's evolved into now lives. So we're just about to do another Faves live. Yeah.
It was huge. How many people did you have? 100?
So we had 130 people at the last
amazing.
one. Yeah. It's wild because it's just kind of grown.
Yeah.
And it's so nice that like people stick with us and they trust us. And the live for us is about like bringing the community together, making people feel like they leave with, they take something away from it.
And just feel good about themselves.
Yeah, and loads of them made friends, which is really nice. Like, what I love is we did a Faves field day, which is a picnic, and like 30 of our followers came, and they all came on their own. And they were so nervous, which I'm sure you have this as well with your events. Like, they were so nervous to all come, but they put themselves out there, put themselves in an uncomfortable position, and then felt so proud of themselves afterwards. And that's what I love about it, is I want to make women feel more confident. Like, we can do these things. We can still make friends no matter how old we are. Definitely. And you can still love clothes and fashion without having to spend a fortune and feeling like, that part of your life is done and you're not a part of that world anymore, because it's just not true.
No, not at all.
So that's kind of what it's all about. And it, like I said, it came from a natural place of me trying to figure out my own style and just helping women
and sharing
find theirs.
Yeah, I think there's such a big part of, you just said making women feel confident, is that community side and that support system, and like putting yourself out there when you're in your, I don't know what your kind of average age is.
We're kind of like 25 up. Like, we were really surprised actually, because a lot of the people that came to the live were like mother-in-laws, and they brought their like daughter-in-law and things like that. So it's a real mix of ages. And my mum buys stuff from Faves, and she's in her 60s.
Yeah.
So it's really across the board, which even shocked me.
But that's another thing. Like, for my age group and also my mum's age group, how often do you put yourself out there to an event where you're going to maybe meet like-minded people and share kind of tips or come away with something where you feel really empowered afterwards? It doesn't really happen at our age.
No, I don't. And also I think, dependent on people's jobs, like we had a woman who came and she does shift work. She's a nurse. And she was like, all my friends are working in the day and I'm off in the day. So I don't really feel like I get any of that time to have girl time with anyone. And she was like, so this was like really important for me to come to and meet other people who are around. And I just thought, God, we don't think of things like that. And like, it really meant a lot that she did that. And then we made them all do like an outfit check. And at first everyone was like standing on the sidelines like, I don't really want to do it. So I was like, right, I'll go first. And like, I did one, and then Izzy and all the girls from the team did it. And then it just took one of the other girls to come and jumped in, and then they all did one. And then like everyone was like cheering each other on, and then they were all like giggling, and then afterwards they were like, oh my God, I feel amazing, I want to do it again. And they all just left feeling so hyped up. And I think it's just that thing, like just putting yourself out there and proving to yourself that you can still do those things.
I think it's about that first little challenge. Overcoming that, it kind of like opens you up to the next thing, and like it gives you that boost, doesn't it? It's just putting yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, seeing how you didn't die, you didn't embarrass yourself, it's all good.
And also you realize there's other people out there that are feeling the same as you.
Oh my God, 100%. And at our events and at your events, there's so many people that will show up thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be the only person that's here on my own. Everyone comes on their own.
Everyone comes on their own, which I think is so brave.
I do as well.
Because I barely do anything on my own.
I know.
I'm such a wimp. Like, I always have Leo with me. So I always, you know, and like being from bands and things like that, I'm used to having the backup of other people. So for me, I'm getting used to having to turn up to things alone and stuff. So I know how hard that is.
But that's probably why they feel so inspired by being with you, and because you're kind of in their shoes as well.
I mean, we're still a startup essentially. So, you know, we're a pretty small team, but there's so much more I want to do with it. Like being slightly older and like having friends that are kind of on like second phases of their lives and things. Like, this is really specific, but you know, friends that are going through divorce, that have been a stay-at-home parent for so long and like don't understand their finances properly, or where they stand, or what to do next, and having to get a job for the first time in like 10 years and things like that. Stuff like that is really important to me, because I didn't take any control of my finances when I was growing up, because I had accountants and people doing it for me, and I was just working every day. Like, I wouldn't have known if someone had paid me or not, or known what my tax bill was going to be. And so I got to a certain age and I was like, oh shit,
I need to know all these
things. I
I
don't understand it all. So I've spent the last few years really taking control of that and like understanding
and that's empowering,
it. Really empowering, but also, you know, a lot of us don't know how to do it, and it seems
where
scary.
Do you begin?
Where do you begin? Like, if my friends that are stay-at-home parents, I'm like, so does that mean you have a pension or you don't? Or, you know, things like that people don't think about. And so my next step is I really want to get someone involved that can really explain things in a really simple way, and like encourage people to make sure that, you know, even if you're a stay-at-home parent, you can have your own little pot of money as a piece of security, or whatever it is you need. And like trying to empower women in different ways, not just around clothes. Like, we always say, it's not just about the clothes, but obviously we're still so small, so we're just trying to get to those next steps all the time.
It's like you say, it's like the clothes are kind of what you see on the outside, but it's what the clothes are doing, and the events and things like that. Okay, so we are going to do a quick fire round.
Oh no, okay.
I always make these up on the spot.
Oh God.
So this is just as new for me as it is for you. Okay, what's your one autumn winter essential?
A good coat.
Brand?
Frankie shop if I'm splashing out.
Yep.
Or I love a Zara coat.
Yeah, Zara and Mango, actually.
Yeah.
Massimo Dutti have some good things.
I do love Massimo Dutti.
Sorry, do
actually.
I think
I know, I'm like,
team?
who's answering these questions, Bryony? But you are right. You are right. Massimo Dutti is like great at the minute. I always call it Massimo Dutti though. Makes it sound more interesting. But I just think a good coat like can cover up a multitude of sins. Like you can just be in your gym wear, put a good coat on, and you look put together. Yeah,
I love that. Okay, what's one wellness non-negotiable for you?
Oh, what is my wellness negotiable? Magnesium.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that.
No.
But I like it. I mean, I take magnesium every day, but I thought you were going to go for something different.
Like what?
I don't know. I thought you were going to say like journaling or movement or something.
I actually just bought your notebook, actually. Your
did you?
Yeah, I did. The blue one, because it's good Faves colour as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
I don't know, because basically I'm in this like supplement rut, which is why it's relevant for me right now. Okay. It's because there's so many supplements that I should be taking, and I hate swallowing tablets, and I hate drinking things that don't taste nice. So I'm like the worst person. So I've like a cupboard full of supplements that I don't actually take.
Yeah.
So I've tried to like really minimize it.
Yeah.
And for me, just magnesium, I don't know, it just works for me. It helps me to sleep, it keeps things regular.
Yeah. Which magnesium are we taking?
Is it, what's the one that's good for stomach? Citrate? Yeah.
Okay, nice. Any brands in particular?
I can't remember what it's called. It's like bio something. I went to buy it yesterday and I couldn't get it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thorn is good. Thorn.
Yeah, I take a lot of Thorn stuff and Pure.
And Viridian is a really good magnesium.
Right, I'll have a look.
Okay, and what's one piece of advice you would leave the listeners with today?
Oh, God.
That's not our last question, by the way. We've got one more, but it sounded like it was the last one. It sounded like
the final one. A piece of advice. I suppose the biggest thing that I have learnt is that, and I know it sounds really obvious, but like, essentially your happiness is down to you. So not to look outward for that.
Yeah.
And I think it's taken me a really long time to figure that out, which seems really obvious, but I have to make myself happy. And obviously other people add to that. They can make it better or worse, but within yourself, you have to figure out what you want, what makes you happy, and what your goals are, and all of that. So if you need to do the work, do it. Don't put it off.
Yeah.
The sooner you do it, the happier your life will be. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, last question. This is the last question.
Magnesium.
As you have just bought the journal, which is so sweet, we are now doing this thing at the end of every episode where we want our guest to leave the listeners with a journaling prompt that will encourage them to really reflect, or maybe, it can be self-development or just something that can be inspiring to write in your journal today and answer.
So something I've been doing with my life coach, I can't remember the actual words he used, but basically what I do is think about something that has affected me in the day.
Okay.
So write that down.
Yeah.
So it could be something that someone said. Write down what they said. Write down how it made me feel. But then write down what I made it mean. So
like the meaning you put behind
the meaning I put behind it, and then how I can change
that meaning.
That meaning, yeah.
That's amazing.
Not the good wording that he uses.
That was perfect wording.
But does that make sense?
Yeah, really makes sense. And I think that's such a... That's like you didn't just go for a prompt, you went for an exercise.
Yeah, it's a full exercise.
I like it,
but it's really
good.
It's really good. And then you can try and implement it throughout the day. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But writing it down, it really is like really opens your eyes up to how you can turn things, especially having a husband. I'm like, he'll say something and I'm like, oh my God, he hates me. And then I write it down and I'm like, oh no, I made it mean that he hates me. What he actually meant was probably what he said because he's a man. And then I've turned it into a whole other thing. So it's just realizing it. I think sometimes when you write it and when you see it, you realize what you do.
Yeah, you take yourself out of it and see it from above. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Where can everyone find you and Faves and all the details?
So you can find me on Instagram. It's just Frankie Bridge or Faves the Edit. Okay, that's where I'll be.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode.